Alrighty, good afternoon, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster Ken back here once again. I'm here to give you guys a video going over the potential of seeing severe weather as we get towards late tonight into the early part of your Tuesday morning down there in southern Arkansas here. So as you can see, we have the marginal, the slight, and the enhanced risk for south central and southern Arkansas here. So kind of want to reassure everybody, know everybody's kind of tuning in, especially across central and northern Arkansas here. We're not expecting severe weather across those areas, but I want to stress during the overnight hours that thunderstorms that will be coming in will be very, very loud. They'll be capable of producing hail and some gusty winds, but the majority of the severe threat will be across southern Arkansas as we get towards night here. So just kind of keep that in mind, especially during the overnight hours. If you hear thunderstorms going and stuff like that, majority of the severe threat will be across southern Arkansas at this time here. If you live in central or northern Arkansas, just kind of keep that in mind, okay? So southern Arkansas, as we said before here, the enhanced risk goes from Texarkana over to Magnolia to El Dorado to Camden, south to Camden, Smackover, over to Crossett, and then over towards Lake Village at this point here, okay? And then the slight risk that is just north of that actually includes Camden, Warren, over towards Nashville, and then your marginal risk goes from Mena to Arkadelphia to Pine Bluff and into Dumas here. So what are we expecting for tonight here across the Natural State? We've got the tornado risk and the damaging wind threat, which actually includes now a significant damaging wind threat across far southern Arkansas here. So here's tornado threat for tonight here. Although low, don't let your guard down across southern Arkansas here. Very low from Dirks over towards Arkadelphia to Horizon over towards Dumas, and then the very low area was the green area, then the low area across far southern Arkansas from Texarkana to Magnolia to El Dorado over towards Crossett and over towards Lake Village here, guys. So I know down there in southern Arkansas, I hear it all the time how everyone's like, oh, I don't have a lot of coverage. No one really talks about southern Arkansas. Send them our way, folks. We'll be here during the overnight hours. If any warnings go out, we'll be here keeping you guys updated. But I'm really, really worried about that damaging wind potential down there in southern Arkansas here. And speaking of the damaging wind potential, here it is right here, folks. The main reason why we have an enhanced risk across southern Arkansas. We've got the very low area from Mena just south of the metro, and this is what I was saying, up there in central Arkansas, you will have that potential for some gusty winds and across the area, and also some hail with these storms that will be coming in across the area. And then it goes down from Pine Bluff down to Dumas, and then the low area goes from Nashville to Camden over to Warren, and then down into Greenville, and then with the enhanced risk across far southern Arkansas, which does include El Dorado, which does include Crossett over towards Magnolia, Texarkana, that high risk over there for seeing the potential of damaging winds down there across southern Arkansas. And as I mentioned before, the potential of significant damaging winds will be on the table, which is 75-mile-per-hour winds or higher across far southern Arkansas. There is a large hail risk with that as well, and as I mentioned before, there's the significant damaging wind potential, which goes from Texarkana to Magnolia to El Dorado to Crossett over towards Eudora at this point here. So if you need this information, if you missed it, be sure to rewind to the live stream and also take a look at the page. We'll have all the information for you guys here. But we will be live during the overnight hours if need be. If any tornado warnings go out during the overnight hours, we will be here, guys. Reassured that Cam mentioned it before. Some of those areas down there, especially across southern Arkansas, especially in this area which is highlighted in the yellow and the red, from Texarkana to Magnolia over to El Dorado to Crossett, those will be the areas we will have to watch for the potential of seeing significant damaging winds as we get towards tonight and into the very, very early morning hours of your Tuesday morning here, okay? So now we're going to go over to our FutureCast, so bear with me for just a minute. I'm going to switch this over here, okay? So this is right around 3 o'clock right now, so if you need timing information, please be sure to take a look at this moment, okay? So right around 3 o'clock right now, we got some showers, a couple of thunderstorms up there in northern Arkansas, nothing too significant at this point, okay? So I'm going to kind of take this out. So northern Arkansas, no severe threat up here for tonight, okay? So keep that in mind across northern Arkansas. And even in central Arkansas, not expecting a whole lot. However, just kind of keep that in mind during overnight hours. And Brandon, yes, I did say, especially for northern, northeastern Arkansas and towards southern Arkansas, there's no severe threat, but those thunderstorms will be loud during the overnight hours, okay? So keep that in mind during the overnight hours. If you hear those storms going, be sure to check the page. Also, we'll have radar up on our website, so you can be sure to follow with us as well here. But I want to reassure you guys, especially across central and northern Arkansas, there is no severe threat up there. We're really worried more about southern Arkansas than we are central and north, but just keep that in mind, okay? There's going to be a lot of loud storms coming in during the overnight hours here, but you're looking right around midnight tonight here. As you can see, your cluster storms starting to come in across western and southwestern Arkansas, and we'll notice the heavier cores down here, which I'm going to go ahead and circle down here in southwestern Arkansas. That area you're going to have to watch for the potential of heavy rainfall, strong, just damaging winds down there in southwestern Arkansas, and also that tornado potential will be there as well. So don't forget about that as well. Even though it's a low risk, it's not as a big of a risk as it is down there in Louisiana. You still have a low threat for tornadoes down here in southern Arkansas. So something that we'll just have to keep an eye on during the overnight hours here. Okay, so you can see by the time we get towards 2 a.m., look at the widespread area of rainfall across central and down into southern Arkansas here. Damaging winds and what we call QLCS, or brief, weak, spin-up tornadoes will be possible across southern Arkansas as we get towards night here, okay? So the heavier cores you see from Camden to Magnolia down to El Dorado here, I can go ahead and show you guys that, okay? So right here, this is the area of concern as we get towards the overnight hours here. I know there's a lot of heavy rainfall up here, a lot of storms up here in central Arkansas and then towards north Arkansas, okay? But I want to reassure you guys, the severe threat up there will be very, very low for tonight here, okay? It's almost non-existent across those areas. However, damaging winds and the hail potential will be there, especially across central Arkansas. It's a very low threat, but just kind of keep that in mind here. But southern Arkansas is where the severe threat is going to be at its greatest. Okay, this is where the best potential for seeing severe weather will remain, because you will have a low pressure that will come out from northeast Texas, warm front, southern Arkansas boundary, along with the low pressure, kind of a triple point setup across southwest and southern Arkansas for tonight. So that will be kind of helping the damaging wind and the tornado potential down there for tonight. As I mentioned before, if any warnings get issued tonight, we will be here to give you guys coverage here. And that does include Crossett as well here, guys. Okay, so as you can see, by the time we get towards 3 a.m., a lot of heavy thunderstorm activity down there in southern Arkansas. That is where your severe threat will be at its greatest. Okay, central, northern Arkansas, you may not see much out of this to begin with, okay? Central Arkansas, I know you guys are seeing that on the map. It looks scary. It looks like we're going to get a lot of severe weather. We're not going to see much here in Central Arkansas in terms of severe weather, okay? A heavy amount of rainfall. They're going to be loud coming in as well, but I want to reassure you guys, okay? This is not going to be a severe threat for Central Arkansas. This is going to be for Southern Arkansas at this point. If you know anyone from Camden to Magnolia, those that are wondering about timing, this is what I'm going over right now, okay? If you know anyone from Camden to Magnolia to Warren to El Dorado to Crossett to Texarkana, that's going to be the area of concern for the potential of seeing severe weather for tonight here, okay? Further to the north, your severe threat goes down, but you will still deal with heavy rainfall. You'll still deal with potential strong thunderstorms across the area here, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. It's going to be one of those long nights across Central Arkansas where you have a lot of storms coming in. It's going to be loud. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you're going to think severe weather's going on. I promise you guys, you're not going to see severe weather out of this across Central Arkansas. This is going to be primarily down here in southern Arkansas. But of course, if something changes, we will be here, okay? So 4 a.m., it's going to be moving out of the area here across eastern Arkansas and into southeastern Arkansas. You can see where the heavier cores is down here in southeastern Arkansas. That is where you're going to have that severe potential throughout the overnight hours. And then by the time we get towards 6 o'clock in the morning, it is speed blitzing out of here. We'll be done. But I'm going to tell you guys this. It's going to get very, very warm across the state as we get towards Tuesday. And Tuesday night, we're going to have to watch. I've been kind of back and forth here. As a matter of fact, we'll have to go over timing here just a bit. But there is the potential of maybe some thunderstorms kind of getting going throughout the overnight hours. Tuesday night and early Wednesday morning. Right now, we don't have a risk for severe weather, so it's not much to talk about, but we'll watch it closely. I want to get through tonight first before we try to talk about tomorrow night into Wednesday morning spread here. But a cold front will swing through. Temperatures will fall back to below normal as we get towards that Thursday and Friday time frame. And then we will have to watch as we get towards next week here, guys, because severe weather will really ramp up across our area as we get towards next week here. But right now, we're going to have to watch southern Arkansas and southwest Arkansas for that potential here. So I'm going to go back over to our severe weather outlook for tonight here, kind of reassure everybody here. So from central Arkansas to northern northeastern Arkansas, I know I'm going to get a lot of questions tonight about are we going to see severe weather, etc. From Little Rock to northern Arkansas, northeastern Arkansas. You guys are in the clear. Okay, I'm not expecting any sort of major severe weather up there in northern Arkansas for tonight here. I know there's a lot of people that have storm anxiety. There's a lot of people that worry, especially during the overnight hours. We get thunderstorms, and it sounds like we have severe weather. I promise you guys, we're not expecting severe weather across central and northern Arkansas for tonight. Okay? Now, southern Arkansas, completely different story. You have an enhanced risk for a reason. As you guys just saw with our FUTURECAST. Damaging winds, potentially significant damaging winds from Texarkana to Magnolia to El Dorado, over towards Crossett and over towards Lake Village at this point. Okay? Those are the areas that we're going to have to watch for tonight. That's the ones that I'm really worried about for the potential of seeing severe weather here. Okay, so that goes for much of central and southern Arkansas at this point. Okay, and then southern Arkansas and then central Arkansas and north Arkansas. I'm not expecting severe weather, but I cannot rule out some strong thunderstorms up there, capable of producing some gusty winds, maybe some small hail up there, especially across central Arkansas for tonight. These storms kind of move in. But I'm not expecting a lot, guys, across central Arkansas at this point, guys. So just keep that in mind. Also, one more thing I want to go over before I tackle questions is tonight, if we have any tornado warnings, okay, we are not going to be able to answer specific questions or specific city or county questions tonight. Okay, I'm just telling you guys this now before we get rocking and rolling tonight here, but we're not going to answer those questions for tonight. Okay, our full attention is going to go straight into those tornado warnings if we have them tonight across southern Arkansas here. So my advice for you guys down there in southern Arkansas for tonight: keep your phones on. Take the time right now. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Charge your phones. Make sure you're good to go for tonight. Stay with us. We'll have all the alerts. Anything that gets issued, we'll be here, guys. But that's just my advice for you guys down there in southern Arkansas for tonight. If any warnings get issued, particularly tornado warnings, you guys know what to do. That's getting away from the exterior walls. It's getting away from the windows. And that's getting to the lowest and central portion of your home here, okay? So we're not expecting a tornado outbreak across southern Arkansas. It's not going to be a significant outbreak across those areas here, but that the threat for severe weather is on the table for our folks across southern Arkansas as we get towards night here. That's from Texarkana to Magnolia to El Dorado. That does include Smackover in the county area as well, Johnson City, over towards Crossett, and then over towards Eudora. I think it's just south of Lake Village at this point, but you are still in that slight risk area. But I would say even in the marginal risk area from Mena to Arkadelphia to Pine Bluff and Dumas, don't let your guard down. The very low threat is still there across the board here. So if y'all have any questions, it's the time to ask me now, because tonight we're not going to be able to answer those specific questions for your area. Okay, but I just want to let you guys know from central to northern Arkansas, I'm not expecting any sort of major severe weather up there for tonight. Storms are going to be loud. There are going to be a lot of loud storms coming in tonight. Okay, but I promise you guys, you're not going to see severe weather across that board here. I really hope that answered a lot of questions across central Arkansas here, guys. So let me see here. If y'all have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to try to make this a quick live stream here. We won't have a 7-day forecast tonight, by the way, here. We're kind of getting ready for the severe threat for tonight here. Okay, so what does Magnolia look like? Same thing, damaging winds. The potential of a few tornadoes is on the table for tonight down there in Magnolia at this point. We will have to watch that, especially across far southern Arkansas. That's Texarkana, over towards Eldo, over towards the Eudora area. The tornado threat right now appears greater in Louisiana. Okay, there's actually a 10% down there in Louisiana for the potential of seeing tornadoes. That's because you may have supercells down there versus a line up here. But the one thing that concerns me is that you have a low that's going to travel from southwest Arkansas into central Arkansas and into eastern Arkansas, and you're going to have a warm front that's going to kind of hang around that area as well here. So I always say if you're watching this along the warm front, if you're watching this, you're looking for severe weather, always look along and just south of the warm front. Those are the areas you have to watch for that potential here. Cross it, same thing goes for you, okay? Let me see here. Cam, thank you for answering that question regarding timing. Also, if you need timing information, we do have a FutureCast on the page. I posted it about 9 o'clock this morning, so if you need that information, please take a look at that as well. And also, one more thing, guys. I know there's going to be a lot of people asking tonight. We do have a interactive radar that you can go look at on our website here. Ian, if you could do me a favor and tag that in the comments on this live stream. We do have a radar on our website, guys. So don't wait for those radar updates. Don't wait for us to go live or anything like that. Follow us along the radar as well here. Okay, we're not going to be going live for storms that are not warned. Okay, we're only going to be live whenever there's a tornado warning throughout the overnight hours for tonight here. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind here. We're not going to be going live every 5 seconds. It's only going to be restricted to tornado warnings. So if you need those updates, please take a look at our website, guys. Okay, please keep that in mind for tonight here. Okay, so Cross, I've already answered that question. I know there's a lot of people getting a lot of questions from Cross area for tonight. Mainly damaging winds. Okay, now that's the one thing I'm worried about. I'm gonna go back over to our significant damaging wind outlook real quick. Okay, so that's Texarkana, Magnolia, El Dorado. That doesn't cross it as well. Okay. That goes for the potential of seeing 75-mile-per-hour wind gusts or higher. Okay, as you can see, we're not the only ones in the boat as well. That includes North Louisiana, western Mississippi, and over towards eastern Texas and northeastern Texas at this time here as well. Here, okay, so just kind of keep that in mind for tonight. So before, we're not expecting a major outbreak of severe weather. The majority of the severe weather will be across North Louisiana, East Texas, and western Mississippi. But don't let your guard down just because you're not in the bigger risk at this point here across southern Arkansas. So if y'all need that information, please take a look at the page. We'll have all that information on there as well. Here, I already went over FutureCast. If you need to rewind the live stream, it will allow you to do that, I believe. So let me see here. Okay, so I notice everyone asking about timing as well. Timing information is on the page, okay? But right now, I want to say this is going to go from about midnight tonight across western Arkansas. As a matter of fact, let's hit the back. Around 11 o'clock tonight, all the way till 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so 11 p.m. tonight to 7 a.m. area-wide. Okay, if you need specific timing information, take a look at the FutureCast that is on the page at this point here. Okay, so I know there's somebody asking about Polk County in southwestern Arkansas. You're at a lower risk for seeing severe weather, but it's still on the table for tonight here. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, so Cam, thank you for answering that question. Yes, the greatest severe threat will be from Dirks over towards Arkansas City, everyone along that line and south. So let me go back over to our FutureCast because we're getting a lot of questions about timing at this point here. Okay, so I'm going to back this up. So if you need timing information, this is the time to pay attention right now. Okay, 11 p.m. Okay, so there's Mena, there's Dirks, to Texarkana. Okay, along that line around 11 o'clock. That's when it's going to start popping up across those areas, okay? Your greater severe threat is going to be basically right here, okay? That's where your greater severe threat is going to be across the border, across southern Arkansas. Anyone along and north of that line will not see a lot of severe weather across this area, okay? You're not going to see a crazy ton of severe weather. Storms will be loud coming in during the overnight hours. Let me reassure you. Storms will be loud coming in during the overnight hours. I know there's going to be a lot of people that's going to ask me during the overnight hours, is this storm severe, etc. Folks, I'm going to tell you this now. Central and northern Arkansas, your severe threat is very, very low, okay? This area in here, that's from Dirks to Pine Bluff to Arkansas City, down into southern Arkansas. That includes Texarkana, Camden, over towards El Dorado, over towards Eudora, Lake Village, Greenville. These are the areas of concern down here across southern Arkansas. Okay, so just keep that in mind for the overnight hours. I believe we're getting a new run on our FutureCast, guys. So if it does kind of mess up a little bit, I do apologize. But I think we're getting a new run of this at this point. Okay, so let me go back over to 11 p.m. Okay, so it's gonna do that. By the way, it's coming up new at this point. Yeah, the 18C is just now coming out. So it's gonna try to do that at this point here. Okay, so there's 5 p.m. not 5 a.m. excuse me. Let me go back over to 11 real quick. Okay, so there's a lot of storms coming in, as you can see. Okay, then right around midnight, you're gonna see those storms really start to take place across western Arkansas and particularly southwest Arkansas. Now, The one thing I'm getting concerned about when I'm looking at the newest run that's beginning to come in here, I am starting to get concerned about these isolated cells that are trying to develop along and ahead of the line. If that takes place, we will see an isolated tornado threat down there in southern Arkansas at this point. Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on that at this point, Cam. I'm just not looking at that at this area here. So mainly a damaging wind threat with this. But the one thing I'm worried about, and this is your setup for tonight here. Okay, lows here, warm front, and then you have a boundary that's just like that. So basically, you've got southeast winds coming in. Basically, a lot of rotation down here in southern Arkansas for tonight. Okay, so that's why we're worried about the damaging wind and the tornado threat, kind of a combo threat for tonight here down there in southern Arkansas. But I am getting kind of concerned about some isolated cells that may try to develop ahead of the line here. But boy, look at there. I mean, a lot of heavy activity coming across western Arkansas and into central Arkansas now here. But I want to stress, okay, I know that looks scary. I know it looks terrifying, folks, but along and north this line, that's Mena, Little Rock, Conway, over towards Searcy, this is non-severe. These are all strong thunderstorms coming in, okay? So this would be a wind and hail threat at this point at max, okay? Your tornado threat is greater down here where you have the instability, okay? So that would be a wind and hail threat up there. Be some strong thunderstorms coming in. But so far, I know it looks scary, folks. I know it just by looking at this, if you didn't know any better, by looking at this, you would think we got a major outbreak of severe weather heading our way across central Arkansas. But to kind of simplify and break it down, the bigger threat is in southern Arkansas. The very low threat up here across central Arkansas at this point. By 4 a.m., you can really see, and you can see that the heavier cores down here across southern Arkansas. That's Dumas, Camden, Warren, Monticello, over towards El Dorado and across the area. This is the area of concern for seeing severe weather for tonight. Okay, I know this looks scary up here, folks. I understand, but I promise you guys, it is not going to be severe up here. Okay, they're going to be loud coming in, but they're not going to be severe across those boards. All right, if that happens, we'll let you know here. But boy, look at there. Okay, it's really highlighting that damaging wind potential down there in southeastern Arkansas for tonight here. So I'm going to have to watch that close. That's the low, the warm front, boundaries coming in behind it. That's the area of concern for tonight here, from Texarkana to Magnolia to Camden to El Dorado, Warren, across it, Monticello, over towards Lake Village, Eudora area. Down here in southern Arkansas, this is where we're going to have to watch for that potential here. Then by 6 a.m., it should start clearing the state here, and then by the time we get towards 7 a.m., we should be completely done with this. I want to see if it's going to allow me to go out. I don't think it's going to let me, but I want to see if it's going to allow me to go out to tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening here. Give me 1 second. Let me go over and see if it will let me. I don't think it's going to let me do it yet. It's not out that far yet. Okay, so basically, I will have to show you guys that in a future post down the road here, but there is some additional shower thunderstorm development we'll have to watch tomorrow afternoon. Let me see if I can go over to the NAM and show you guys that real quick. So we'll go over to about 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. Okay, let me see, Bill. Okay, so the NAM is not really holding on this too much. Okay, I don't think it's going to, yeah, it's not going to do too much with it. But there is a front of bounds that's going to come through tomorrow night, and it may produce, there it is. So right around midnight tomorrow night, it starts showing some showers and thunderstorms across the board. This is like not tonight, but Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. There is some additional shower and thunderstorm development if you were to go with the high-rise NAM. Not a lot of activity. This shouldn't produce too much in the way of severe weather here for tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. But for tonight into tomorrow morning, which is the overnight hours tonight into the very early morning hours of Tuesday morning, that will be the case across the board here across southern Arkansas. So I'm going to bat this up. Let me go back over to 3 a.m. With the high-res NAM. That's a 12Z, by the way. I'm going to see if I can go over back to our other computer model at this point. Okay, so basically this is what you're looking at here. Okay, so the wind, the rain across Mena, right? So what our temperatures looking like during the overnight hours, 60s, 70s, is not going to be a big severe weather threat, okay? I know everyone has storm anxiety. I know everyone's kind of worrying this is going to be an outbreak. And I also know the last couple of weeks we've been talking about a lot of severe weather. But this is not going to be a significant severe weather outbreak across Arkansas. It's not going to be that in, okay? Southern Arkansas is the best shot of seeing severe weather, but further to the north, from Mena to Little Rock to Memphis north, I'm not expecting severe weather across those areas, okay? I know everyone's worried. I understand it. I completely understand it, but I want to reassure you guys one more time. We're not expecting severe weather across those boards for tonight, okay? It's going to be primarily a Southern Arkansas event across tonight and into the very early morning hours of your Tuesday morning, okay? Damaging winds, the potential of tornadoes is on the table as well. It's not a significant threat, but the threat is still there for tonight. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys this real quick, okay? So this is going to be, give me 1 second, all right? Basically what you're looking at here, so ignore the header, by the way. For some reason the header didn't change, but this is what you're looking at in terms of what we call helicity. Basically, this is the amount of rotation in the atmosphere. Okay, and this is the reason why I'm not worried about a tornado threat up here in central or even northern Arkansas. Notice where your energy is at this point. Okay, the amount of energy is across southern Arkansas. This is where you have that tornado threat for the overnight hours. Okay. Notice up here in central and northern Arkansas, there's not a lot of energy up here across northern and central Arkansas. Okay, so that means from Mena to Little Rock to Memphis north, no severe threat, not even a tornado threat up here. Okay, your tornado threat is greater across southern Arkansas just because you have a lot of helicity down here, along with the instability. Now, there's not a lot of instability, but it's still there. Yes, Stacy, I saw that. It does include Northeast Texas, by the way. Alright, so that's the reason why I was showing you guys this now. We're not expecting a lot of severe weather across central and northern Arkansas. There's a lot of people tuning in, kind of wondering, which is totally understandable, but not expecting a whole lot of severe weather across the board. And you can even see, look at here, this is kind of the higher resolution of the helicity, and this is what I'm saying, not a lot of energy up here in northern Arkansas, north central Arkansas, okay? The greater energy is across southern Arkansas at this point because your low is going right through here, okay? Your low is going right through here, all right? So this is where you had a southeast winds. This is where your tornado threat is going to be as we get towards the overnight hours tonight, early part of tomorrow morning here. Now, with it being during the overnight hours, I'm not expecting a whole lot of instability. There's not a lot of instability. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. There's not a lot of instability across the board. Let me see if I can go over to our 0 to 3 kilometer instability. Okay, so there's not a lot of instability with this, guys. So that's why I'm saying the severe threat is not terribly high across the board. All right, but it's still there across southern Arkansas. The damaging wind threat is still there. Okay, so this is what I call the most unstable cape. Okay, so this is the reason why you have a severe threat down here in southern Arkansas. Your greater instability is down here. All right. But this is why I'm not ruling out a hail threat up here from Mena to Little Rock to Memphis up here, because you do have a lot of instability, okay? This is why we're warning you guys now that storms are going to be loud coming in during the overnight hours across those areas, okay? They're going to be loud. They're going to sound like it's going to produce a lot of severe weather. It's not, folks, okay? Your bigger severe threat's going to be down here in southern Arkansas. But, of course, if something changes, we'll let you guys know. But right now, the severe threat's going to be greater down here from Dirks over to Arkansas City, point south, okay? That's southern, southwestern, and far southeastern Arkansas at this point, okay? That's Dirks, Texarkana, over towards Magnolia, to El Dorado, to Camden, to Warren, to Monticello, Dumas, over towards Lake Village, and the Greenville area, okay? That is down here, okay? That's why I'm saying up here in central and northern Arkansas, I'm not expecting a whole lot of activity up here. But so forth, thunderstorms will be loud throughout the overnight hours coming in, okay? So I know everyone's focused on the tornado threat as well. There's a damaging wind threat. The damaging wind threat completely overweighs the tornado threat, okay? There's the reason why, because there's a lot of wind energy, but there's very little fuel. There's very little instability for tornadoes, okay? That's why your tornado threat's greater to the south, because of the fact of the instability is greater south of Arkansas, but your wind energy is greater up here. So you have the damaging wind threat, but your tornado threat's greater south because of the more instability, okay? So that's why we're going to have to watch it. I'm not saying there's not going to be a tornado in southern Arkansas, okay? I'm not saying that Even though it's low threat, nothing's going to happen. Look what happened in northwestern Arkansas the other night. Very low threat, and they had an EF3 in Springdale. Okay, not trying to create panic either. It's kind of it's a difficult question to answer because it's a yes or no question basically. Be prepared. If any warnings get issued, you guys know what to do. We've been through this a million times. Okay, you guys know what to do when warnings get issued across the area. All right, so I think someone answered that question. Yes, it's 2 to 5%. It's a very low threat. Let's go back to it real quick. Let's talk about it for just a second. Okay, so I know everybody's kind of worried about tornado threat. That's what I'm saying. From Dirks over to Arkansas City South, this is where your tornado threat is at its greatest. Okay, north of that line, I'm not expecting any sort of tornado activity for tonight. Okay, you don't have the instability up here. You're going to be north of the warm front. That tells you right there it's going to be a hail threat immediately. That's going to be a hail, gusty wind threat immediately. So the tornado threat across central and northern Arkansas very low. Southern Arkansas, very low to low threat, but still on the table across those areas here. Keep that in mind here, guys. Please keep that in mind for tonight. I know I even told my team, I said there's going to be a lot of people asking for tonight here, but that's why I'm trying to reassure you guys now that the thunderstorms that are going to come through central and northern Arkansas is going to be loud. They're going to carry the potential hail any damage you went through. As a matter of fact, I'm really shocked we don't have a marginal risk across central Arkansas just because of the hail threat, but it's not going to produce tornadoes, okay? We're not expecting a lot of tornado activity across central and northern Arkansas. It's going to be primarily across southern Arkansas at this point. Now, southern Arkansas, have a way to get warnings for tonight. Stay with us. Please stay with us, guys, okay? And take a look at the page as well. You know, take a look at our website. We're going to have information on the page and our website for tonight. If you need to follow radar along with us, we have interactive radar on our page here, so you don't have to worry about that as well here. Cam, I saw next week. Next week is definitely could definitely overperform what we have tonight here, guys. So this is what I'm saying. We're in for a long stretch here, guys. This is not going to be our last severe threat either. We're going to have to watch next week as well. Speaking of next week, I'm going to see if it's going to let me change the displays over. So bear with me for just a second. I'm going to see if I change this over here. So it's going to be, I believe it's going to be this. Nope. Okay, so we're going to go over to, okay, so I had the display correct. I don't know why I changed it, okay? This is next week, by the way, okay? This is what I'm saying. Your severe threat is not going anywhere anytime soon. Your southeast ridge is going to build in. You got a big trough coming out from the west here, guys. There's going to be a good amount of severe weather as we get towards the early to mid part of next week. Not only for us here in Arkansas, but Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, up to Missouri, Louisiana, Mississippi. Folks, we're in this stretch for a good bit. Okay, this is not going to be our last severe threat. I'm already looking at the next one coming out of the board here. Okay, so this is what's going to be happening as we get towards next week. This is the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame for the next week time frame here. And I will have a blog on that, by the way, as we get towards probably tomorrow once we get past tonight's threat. But I fully expect probably a day 8. I don't know if it's going to be here in Arkansas, but it's definitely going to be a day 8 across some areas as we get towards tonight with the Storm Prediction Center's update, guys. So a lot of caveats with that, guys. A lot of caveats with it, okay? So let me see here. Ian, thank you for answering that. Marginal areas and those slight risk areas, okay? Don't let your guard down. I feel like I've preached about this a million times. Look what happened in northwestern Arkansas the other morning, okay? You still can get severe weather in a marginal slight risk area. Storms do not care if you're an enhanced risk or a moderate risk or a high risk or a marginal risk. They don't care, okay? Those are confidence maps. It doesn't guarantee that you will see a tornado, or it doesn't guarantee you'll see significant damage winds or anything like that. It's just confidence, okay? But they don't care about those colors. They don't care about those risk areas. You can still see severe weather even outside of the marginal risk area. I've seen it happen in a general thunderstorm area before. So just keep that in mind for tonight. You guys know the deal. Know the drill. Have our way to get warnings. Stay with us during the overnight hours. If a warning gets issued, we will be here, okay? I'm going to see about something real quick. Give me 1 second here. Let's see if I can, I don't know if it's going to, okay, so it's not going to let me do it on a live stream. I'll have to post it later. Eden made the graphic, which I appreciate her for making it graphic. It's just a way of having up-to-date information during severe weather and having information during the overnight hours as well here. Okay, so I really hope I answered everybody's question. Cam, I did see that for day 8. It's like I said, there's a lot of caveats with that one for next week, guys. I'm really worried here. I've been preaching for the last couple of weeks that the southeast ridge has been our best friend with it being suppressed and kind of keeping the severe threats to our east. But when that southeast ridge comes back, it's going to come back with a vengeance, especially for us here in Arkansas. It could be our best friend and our worst enemy at one point, okay? So let me see here. Okay, so be sure y'all are watching us for tonight. We will have updates, as Matt said before. We're going to have a live stream on our YouTube and our Facebook. We don't have live stream on our Roku as of yet. I'm still getting that process at this point. But we're going to have updates on our Facebook and our YouTube for tonight. No 7-day forecast for tonight as well. Because our attention is going to go to the overnight hours for the severe threat. And then for tomorrow night, I'm going to have to watch for some isolated severe weather. But it shouldn't be anything significant. And our attention is going to turn to next week. Because, I mean, boy, there's a lot of caveats that are going to come with next week here, guys. I mean, there's a lot that can go into it. And I'm going to have a vlog about it as we get towards tomorrow here. So we're going to go back over to our FutureCast one more time so you guys can see it. Okay? Let's go back over one last time before I hop off of here. Okay, so this is for tonight. We'll go back over to our reflectivity. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. You're going to have to watch it. Also, one more thing I'm going to see about doing, trying to add the winds along with this as well so you can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, so that should be loading up here shortly here. But this is around 11 o'clock tonight. Our radar here, there's your area of low pressure right here, but you can see the activity over here in Oklahoma and in Texas at this point. All that activity will move eastward, okay? That will move eastward with time, but you can see the southeast winds coming in. And I'm going to kind of speed blitz this out to 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so a heavy amount of thunderstorm activity here. There's a health threat that I can see kind of materializes from Mena over to Little Rock in this area here. So there's your health threat with that, okay? That means thunderstorms are going to be super loud coming in. But look what your southeast winds are coming in. That is where your tornado threat will be from Texarkana to Camden, over to Arkansas City, down here, okay? That is where your tornado threat will be. So El Dorado, I would watch it for tonight. Crossett, I would watch it as well. Monticello, smack over the county over here in Union County. Those will be the areas that I would watch for tonight. Far southern Arkansas at this point, okay? This is where your severe threat is going to be at its max. Further to the north, wind and hail threat at max, but we will watch for any sort of tornado activity for tonight. And then by the time we get towards 4 a.m., and get towards 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, it should be completely over with, okay? So, let me see here. Thank you, Cam. If y'all need any additional questions, feel free to email to the page as well. Somebody says something about the YouTube page. Okay, I cannot get the YouTube live to come up for some reason. Let me check into that real quickly here. Okay, so the YouTube side is still working. Okay, so everything on our side in terms of the YouTube side is still working good to go because there's a lot of people commenting on it. There's also people asking about next week as well here. Yeah, I see that Tuesday and Wednesday time frame, folks. It's a lot of caveats with that one, folks. Once we get past 9, I'm going to talk to you guys about it because it could potentially, I won't say this now, it could potentially be our first major severe event for us here in Arkansas as we get towards next week. A lot of caveats, but as a matter of fact, I'm going to show y'all how big that severe threat is going to be for next week before I hop off of here. Just looking at this point, let's go out to, let's see, next Tuesday is going to be the 12th. Let's go to the 12th real quick, okay? Let's talk about it real fast, all right? So before I hop off of here, we're going to talk about it. This is 201 hours out, okay? This is the amount of energy you're going to have, okay? That's the amount of energy you're going to have. 2 to 4 kk, okay? There's a lot of energy that you're going to have to work with as we get towards next Tuesday. This is next Tuesday, by the way, okay? This is what I'm saying, folks. Your severe threat's not going to be over with just this one, okay? We got to watch next week as well. A lot of caveats with next week. A lot of caveats with it, okay? So, let me see here. So, and then Wednesday, we will have more severe weather for Montgomery County. The Tuesday night and Wednesday threat is a very low severe threat. I mean, it's just a hail threat at max. I'm not expecting any sort of tornado event with that one Tuesday night and Wednesday. I think the bigger severe threat is going to be next week. I think Tuesday and Wednesday takes the bigger cake right now because you've got so much energy that's going to come northward as we get towards Tuesday and Wednesday next week, guys. There's so much to talk about with that. It's not even funny, guys. And as a matter of fact, I am going to talk about that probably after this live stream here. So it's a lot of caveats to work with next week, guys. It's a crazy time. Valerie, this one is just La Nina. It's how La Nina works. You have a lot of severe threats during La Nina seasons. So far, we've been really, really lucky. I mean, we've had our severe weather events here in Arkansas. We've had a lot of I think 11 tornadoes in total here in Arkansas at this point, 10 or 11 tornadoes in terms of the year so far. But we've been relatively okay in terms of severe weather. We've been kind of around average. I'm really worried, and I've been preaching this. The Southeast Ridge has been our best friend because it's been suppressed. It's been steering the events away from us. I'm really worried that Southeast Ridge is going to come back, and when it comes back, it's not going to be a friendly comeback either. It's going to come back with a lot of force coastal area here. By the way, temperatures next week, along with that instability, mid to upper 80s, possibly a low 90 down there in southern Arkansas. There's a lot of stuff that goes into next week at this point. Cam, I was telling you about it. I wouldn't be shocked we had a day 8 come out for tonight here, guys. So forth, that's all I got for you guys at this point. I do fully appreciate y'all for being here during this live stream. I've been live for almost an hour now. I am going to go ahead and break off, get ready for the overnight hours tonight. Cam said it best. I rinse and wash, repeat. I rinse and repeat, repeat. It's going to be the pattern like this all the way until May, guys. So for the biggest thing I want to tell you guys down there in southern Arkansas, have a plan ready for tonight. Not expecting a crazy ton of severe weather, but it will still be on the table here, okay? So we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here in your source for all things Arkansas weather.